Yeah, hi everybody. Welcome back to our Embedded C program course. So this course is completely designed for freshers who want to start their career like in embedded system programming. Okay, somebody already good in hardware and they want to start the software development and how like they can write embedded software. Okay. So I hope like even if you have done some examples, that means if you learn programming like C or C++, it will be an added advantage. So I'm expecting the participants from the C programming background. Okay, so they can connect it easily. And apart from the software programming, that means apart from the programming knowledge, we'll be learning more about the hardware. Okay, so the hardware details I will explain. What are the microcontrollers, like what are the microcontrollers we are using in this course. So this course is properly structured, like maybe as a beginner, if you want to start embedded system, what all essential things are required. So I'll be briefly, like I will be briefing up the C programming concepts. Okay. So yeah, if you are having some confusions about the concept like pointers, structures, because those are very important for embedded C programming. So that I'll be recapping. Okay. So then after that, we'll start writing some programs for a particular target board. That means for a particular machine. Okay. For a particular embedded system device. So why we are learning embedded C programming if you want to make a complete product? Okay. So maybe till the time whenever you did C program, you must have done some applications, you created some interesting applications. Okay. So that's what I think most of you are doing. And yeah, so many features you must have used. The programming, I think maybe you explore well, but we haven't created any product with that, right? How can you create a product? Because basically, if you want to create a product, okay, so that will be consisting of hardware. So what kind of hardware? For example, if I'm taking anything, maybe just consider the example of an AC remote. Okay. Yeah, for example, I'll tell you one simple example for embedded device, that's an AC remote. So in AC remote, we know like we have some buttons, and apart from the buttons, like internally means internally it will be having a controller. I'll come to that why the controller is required. But you can like maybe it's visible for us. Some buttons are there, some displays there. So on display, we'll be able to display the set temperature, current temperature, so and so details, right? So how it is actually developed, how this product has been developed? Is it only hardware? Is that you're thinking maybe when once you open that, or maybe like you tried it already, I guess. Once you're opening any device, you must have seen a circuit board, right? So somebody already from electronics background, they will be able to understand that that is a PCB, printer circuit board. So many components, at least you must have studied resistors, capacitors, and then like in maybe in school days. Okay. So you'll be able to see these components are mounted there and they soldered these components, everything. So that is okay, that we can understand. And what's the requirement of programming? Okay, so maybe like in the earlier era, we were having a lot of analog devices. That means the device is completely working as per the design, as per the what I can say, as per the circuit design. Okay, so you'll be applying some voltage. Okay, so that voltage is divided or amplified. So many basic electronic components we are using like resistors, transistors, op amps, and all. Okay, but right now, if you are creating a product, we need everything advanced, right? Maybe the same like what were the phones we were using in the earlier and what we are using right now, and still the maybe I can say the still the constant research is happening in the market. So embedded system, if you want to say, that is actually tremendously increasing the marketplace. Yeah. So for example, embedded system is constantly growing industry. So that's the reason why you people are interested to learn embedded system. Maybe a few years back, it was not that high level. Okay. So that is not was it was not very in the proper format, or it was not. It was constantly upgradation was happening. And right now you can see that embedded system is a good industry, and it's like applicable, or it is using in all other industries. Or okay, so because as I told already, the product development is basic. So as an engineer, like if you want to do something, if you want to do something for the society, what you will be doing, you like to create some product. It can be for any industry, for the medical industry, or even for automobiles, or for the industry, whatever it is. Okay, so you are going to develop some products. For that, embedded system knowledge is very essential. And as I told, C programming and little bit of electronics knowledge I'm expecting from all the participants. If you don't have still, it's okay. We will be revising what are the topics or what are the concepts is required for embedded system. That's it. And yeah, so as I told already, this is what we are going to do. And I introduce myself, Gina George. I am actually a corporate trainer. I have 10 plus years of experience into corporate training, and even I worked in embedded industry, embedded system industry for almost 10 years. I started my career as a developer. I worked with a different microcontroller like 805 and PIC and ARM Cortex. Okay, so that I enjoyed a lot. Then after that, I came to training and I trained so many students or maybe the industrialist on embedded system. Okay, how to write the code, how they are starting with embedded C programming, and I like did so many courses on embedded RTOS and embedded Linux and all. So C programming, that's my favorite programming language, and we are going to use C programming like only. As of now, that's the dominant language for embedded systems. So I'll explain why it's so and how you want to learn C programming for embedded devices and all. Yeah, so that's about this course. And I'll be telling you step by step what all we will be doing, what all we are going to cover in this course. So yeah, so maybe in the coming lesson I am going to explain that. I think that's clear. So let's go ahead now. What all the things we would like to explore here. I already given an idea about the embedded system. So that's clear for everybody, I guess now. Yeah, so now we are coming to what is embedded system. So embedded system will be a combination of hardware and software. Okay, it can't be only hardware, it can't be only software. It will be a combination of that. And why we need software on that hardware, I think all understood. Why, like what is hardware? Electronics. Okay, of course, electronics or maybe some electrical equipments. Okay, so basically I'm talking about electronics. I'll tell you how the electrical equipments are coming on the other side. Most probably you will be controlling some motors, actuators and all. Okay, so embedded system, as I told, that is having very vast applications on robotics, okay, and automotive field. So you can imagine it can be a simple AC remote or maybe a mobile phone and all. Okay, so as per the industry standard, the concept is same, but we will be using different components. And basically, using embedded system, you are going to control some hardware through the software. So who will be writing the software? You will be writing the software. Software, what is software? That means the kind of instructions you are giving to the machine. Okay, so you'll be having an hardware, like for that hardware you will be writing a software. That means to say you are giving some instruction. And why you want to give some instruction? For example, I'll tell the same example of AC remote. So in AC remote, we know if I am pressing some button, accordingly something should happen in the receiver side, right? So there is one transmitter receiver system, like the remote and the AC unit, they are independent. Okay, so the remote, suppose it's the like a transmitter, and maybe inside the AC unit or attached to the AC unit, there will be a receiver system. So once you are pressing a button, some signal is going there. Okay, so that's a simple IR sensor. You can see that in TV remote also. Okay, so some signal is sending, and some signal is sending to the receiver side, and the receiver will be receiving that signal and it will be processing something. And what it is processing, that is important. For example, if I'm pressing the button, plus button or anything, I'm just telling a simple example. If I'm pressing this particular button, the temperature need to increase one by one. Okay, the temperature is increasing. Maybe initially the set temperature was 20 and I would like to increase the temperature. So I'm just constantly pressing the plus button. So each time if I'm pressing, you will be able to see that in the display it's showing that it's 25, 26, 27, whatever it is. Okay, so that's clear, I guess. Okay, so this kind of operations or this kind of things should happen in the receiver. So how it is possible, how this AC can understand all this? I'm just going into the depth. Okay, so as an embedded engineer, I will always tell you that you have to think like the machine. What is happening inside the machine if this is happening? If a sensor is sensing something, what the machine has to do? What machine has to do, that you have to instruct the machine. Machine don't have intelligence, right? Yeah, as of now, even the artificial intelligence AI concept is also implemented in like embedded systems. So even without your instruction, robots are able to take decisions. That because of AI. Okay, so as of now, let's like start from step by step. So like initially I told, we don't have any option. That means we don't have AI. So you have to completely instruct the machine or the robot or even the AC unit what to do if this signal is coming to you. Okay, so for example, if you want another example, you can think like for a baby, okay, 1 year or 2 year old baby. So how they are behaving, that means we are teaching, right? Or maybe they are seeing from us how we are behaving in different situations or circumstances. Okay, so similarly, embedded device. Okay, so embedded device will be completely working as per our instructions. Okay, So that's the reason I'm telling that it's a combination of hardware and software. Okay, only with hardware or only with software it can't work. Okay, only with software, it can be any desktop applications and all. We don't need it. Okay, so I think that's clear. And maybe one important thing I would like to tell you, I told already hardware. I told it's like electronics components or something. Apart from the electronic component, there should be an important component that's known as microcontroller. What is microcontroller? Maybe you heard about microprocessor, or maybe you don't know the difference between microcontroller and microprocessor. Okay, so microprocessor, maybe how you heard, like for example, if you're purchasing a laptop, okay, it will be written, right? Intel Core, this Pentium processor, whatever it is, the processor number will be written. So that is a microprocessor which we are using inside a laptop or desktop, whatever it is. Okay, now we are coming to this one, that means the software. Okay, so where we are writing the software? Software, we can write it in a microprocessor also, but the software in embedded system we are going to store in microcontroller. So what will be the microcontroller? The Pentium processor or the microprocessor, you can imagine it will be little bit big size. If you open the desktop, the earlier version desktops and all, if you are getting some old desktop, just open it and see. So the board will be little bigger in size. Okay, and so the processor always will be bigger in size, and the processor they developed only for computing purpose. We know, right, what we are doing with the like the desktop. We will be writing some program, we will be erasing that, then again we will be reprogramming. So how it is possible? Because that device, the microprocessor itself, is designed for computing, and we can do so many things without any restriction. We have enough space over there. Okay, so that dedicated for computing. Like right, like the computer, that means the desktop or laptop, whatever we are purchasing, that is general. That means I am purchasing it for the software work, or maybe somebody else is purchasing and they are doing some graphics. Okay, a photographer is purchasing that and doing some editing works. Okay, different. Okay, some office job, somebody is doing that, like any clerical work, they will be using only Word or any like other software. Okay, so any other application they will be using. So that is general, and we are actually altering that as per our need. Okay, so yeah, of course, like what's the memory. Okay, sometime I need terabytes or megabytes or gigabytes. I think all are clear, right? What's the memory and what's the processing speed. We are not focusing on the memory right now. We are talking about the processor and how will we find the efficiency of the processor. We know as a programmer, if you are purchasing a laptop, always we used to see that they will suggest us like the better processor. Okay, so then your application can be faster or execution can be faster. Okay, so that's the reason. So you know already about the processor. Now I am coming to the microcontroller. Okay, so that is already we discussed what is microprocessor, which is using inside the computer. Now, if I am coming to the microcontroller, you can understand that microcontroller, why I am using microcontroller. You can see that the big size of Pentium processor and all, I can't keep inside the AC remote, right? Not possible. AC remote is an embedded device. Okay, there I can use microprocessor, but I can use microcontroller over there. Yeah, and how we can use the microcontroller, or why we are using microcontroller inside the AC remote, I told already. We are supposed to give certain instructions to this embedded devices. This instruction, okay, I can write it in C program, like embedded C program. How you will be writing the embedded C program? You will be writing in your like laptop. Okay, you will be having some IDs and all. You must have worked with so many IDs, right? For Python or C program. Okay, for anything. Yeah, so here also we'll be using any ID for embedded C program. We can use any IDs, that is fine, absolutely fine.